Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So, as usual, it's the weekend. I'm Cypher Sigma, and this is a movie review. And as you can see, it's of the movie Thanksgiving. So, this one had kind of creeped out of nowhere. I didn't even know they'd made this. This is by Eli Roth. I'll go into a bit more of the behind the bits and that later. But basically, this is a kind of horror thriller. Based off an idea from a advert from a set of movies that Eli Roth did back in the 2005, 2006. The whole premise is it's Black Friday. Unfortunately, this Black Friday at this store gets a bit of out of control. People get injured and killed. 1 year later, a serial killer starts killing all the people associated with it. And it's down to the bunch of teens and the sheriff and all that to figure out who it is and save the lives of the people involved. Very your stereotypical horror thriller. Uses a lot of tropes and the same sort of gimmicks that we've seen before. A bit of CG blood and stuff, so there's not a lot of prosthetics. There's some prosthetics that they're using that I think are really good, if they are prosthetics, because they do look really well. It throws a little bit of humour in there, more related to people, younger generation of social media, of computers and stuff like this. I found a few bits, I kind of smirked at it. Not as funny as I thought it would be in those places. But this kind of felt to me a little bit more like Scary Movie than Scream because of some of the stupidity stuff of it. But yeah, so that's simple, basic. Like most horror thrillers, someone's out to kill them all and they've got to do it. Some of them get killed along the way. They find out something happens at the end, and then they don't find the body of the killer. Like per usual, so you can add it into a series. Anyway, I will throw the spoiler warning up as I usually do, and let's get into the nitty gritty. So, as I said, this film starts off with Black Friday. You have this store. Just before this, you meet the sheriff, played by Patrick Dempsey. He is probably the most famous person in this cast. He goes in and sees his friend, who is the one of the shop employees. Unfortunately, someone's gone missing, who's supposed to run the store, so this bloke has to go in. And then, and it's kind of the rich man who owns a place. His kids, obviously, they have a key. Her and her friends go in because they need a new phone due to an altercation earlier that day with another high school and stuff like this. And basically, the Black Fridays, they're offering everybody a free waffle toaster if you're the first 100 customers. Anyway, these kids sneak in because the girl with them is the owner's daughter. They get a phone and that's what they need, but then they start provoking the people outside. The people then rush. Chaos pursues. The door gets smashed open. It's very absurd. Like they're not even pushing against the glass, and the glass breaks, and kind of the door falls. And I thought that, it's the graphic violence is very kind of toony to me. I know people seem to be raving about this. Looking at reviews online, I haven't read any, but their ratings seem to be that they really like it. I thought it's a bit bad when it's really bad CG and stuff, like people having a necks cut and stuff, and it just doesn't look real. I'm not saying you have to use prosthetics. I just think it just gets so far-fetched and zany and out there. It's kind of like the deaths at the later Final Destination ones, but it's 20 years late, 15, 20 years late, however long those films were out. It's not like not like the car exposed with the barrels where you could see it. It's like the jet engine. I think 5 jet engine gets shot through it. It's stuff like that happens, which is just absurd for me. Anyway, I'm getting off track. You see, you're kind of probably going to get an idea of where my review is going to go with this. Anyway, so they go to this. Loads of people get killed, including the worker that's time to go. His wife gets killed. One of the lads that sneaks in with the girl, the daughter. He's a professional baseball player. He gets his arm broken. He disappears. After this, and I say this year later goes on. Obviously, there's somebody posting this like dinner, and it's the main people that are in their names, and basically this video of what happens because one of the kids that sneaks in early, he gets on the escalator and he conveyor belt, and he's like videoing all this stuff, and this video gets posted, and obviously from this video, people have managed to pick out who these people are. So obviously this person, I think he's Carver, his nickname, because he's after this character from, or it might be a fictional, might be, I don't know American history that well. for the Thanksgiving. So he has this mask and he has the pilgrim hat, and that's how he goes around killing people. Starts off with a lady who killed the bloke's wife. She gets cut in half and then plonked on top of the star, which I thought was quite funny. It's like 50% off. Like that I found funny. And there's a bit where she gets her face stuck to the door and then actually trying to open a phone, and obviously facial recognition doesn't work. These are the bits I was talking about were little like chilly, like childy kind of. Yeah, it was a little bit funny, but that's it. Even the way she's killed is very much she's trying to climb into a dumpster. A car hits the dumpster, and these plastic lid then cuts her in half. It is like very absurd sort of stuff happens. But anyway, so yeah, she's the first one to die. Then a few other people die, and it all leads. Then some of the kids start dying. Then a lot of them get kidnapped, and basically the fit picture that you see that's been pasted, they all end up there, and basically someone's going to kill them all, and basically they've all got to kind of take penance for all this stuff that happened last year, because they're all involved. The main girl and her friend managed to kind of get away, and then the main girl figures out who the killer is. Now, obviously, yeah, so figures out who the killer is. She and her ex-boyfriend, who goes to come back in, tried to get away, and then they blow him up in a massive fire, and then he's never found at the end. Give you a hint, it's a bloke. Now, I say, the reason for the killer doing what they did, I liked. I didn't see it coming. But the overall gist of it is just, I don't know if slashers have gone too far out of the way of the usual one, like the Halloween and stuff, like the thing, there are points in this film that are inconsistent. So the film does a good job of distracting you. Literally, it could be this person, it could be this person, it could be this one. And then by about 2/3 into it, quite a lot of the main culprits just disappear. So for like 20-30 minutes, you don't even see them, and then they just pop up at the very end for one reason or another. So it's understandable when you've not seen somebody for like 20-30 minutes, you're a bit like, hang on, all this stuff's happening, most of the cast are here, it's probably one of them. Now, there is a scene very early on where two of the kids get kidnapped. Now, this is very inconsistent because the killer is actually seen outside of the building. So this girl is sitting on some stairs, her friends go off, one of them texts her, but in this time they've been kidnapped. She looks out the front door, sees the person who the killer is, but you don't know who the killer is, then walks down and then is confronted by the killer. That, I was like, I don't know how that physically possible, because the person outside is standing with someone else. This is where my logic was, it wasn't that person, there was stuff there. As I say, it's... I could probably rip this thing to absolutely shreds, and I'm sure a lot of people do. Maybe people will like it. For me, it was a movie, switch your brain off, go and watch. It's okay. To be honest, give it 6 months, a year, I probably will barely even remember this movie, or even about the fact that Patrick Dempsey's in it is probably the only thing that may string back a chord of or kind of a memory that he's in it. But yeah, for the rest of it, it's the same sort of typical over far-fetched Final Destination kills in some parts. The amount of cops they seem to have in this little town is absurd. They have a SWAT team and everything. The killer seemed to be far a mastermind, but then I don't know. The killer and that person who plays that role, I didn't mind. The rest of them, I don't think their acting is that great. Some of the kids and how they react are just stupid. It's very sane. It kind of literally reminds me like somebody has taken a world of scary movie but tried to then do a serious slasher. Obviously, Eli Roth did Death Proof and I can't remember, Bullet something, I think it was. So is the Michael Douglas. Anyone, I think it's around 2006. He did 2 horror films, did a trailer for a Hot 4 list, kind of like Thanksgiving one, and this is what this has kind of spurred this on. It's all new, it's all rewritten and stuff. But to me, knowing what Eli Roth can do and seeing his previous work and other stuff, this is a pale comparison. I think this is a very bad film for him to have on his resume. Personally, it is a very much like you've just, you know, you've got your 1 star and you scraped a few other people together and you've just done the same sort of stereotypical killer one. Yes, it has this Thanksgiving theme and there are a few bits that work well to that, but how the story develops and how you do people, just it, I feel it could be far better. Maybe it's not supposed to be, maybe that's it. But anyway, yeah, as I say, 5 out of 10, worth a watch. I'm not going to be rushing to buy this anytime soon. But yes, I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Hope you enjoyed this review of the movie Thanksgiving. Have you seen it? Let me know in the comments below if you agree with any of my points, disagree with any of my points. What do you think? Could have made the film better or worse even? Who knows? Anyway, see you in the next one.